So last week's race in Dubai was really difficult and a challenging race for us.
We definitely have some stuff to improve on, but we're definitely taking a step in the right direction.
Race 1, Race 2 Dubai, very, very bad.
I don't know how I'm gonna improve myself, but I guess practice is all that I can do.
There were some major incidents happening on the grid, and that caused me a lot of damage, and I had to limp back to the pit to get my suspension.
Pace was just about enough to get into the middle pack.
Even though we are the only team so far to manage a podium in every single race.
It was not a really good race for my standards.
I feel a bit frustrated, but these things happen and I just got to focus on the next race.
Not the best, I think I could have done better than that.
I think there's still more to improve, a lot more to gain.
But not satisfied because there was a protest by a fellow competitor who finished behind me.
I'm quite happy with our team's performance. We gained more points than ever and we feel that we've been rapidly improving.
So overall I am satisfied, but I felt that I could have done better.
Hey guys, and welcome to another episode of the E1 Championship. Don't forget you can watch us on our live Facebook feed as well with our handle E1 Championship, or follow us on Twitter and Instagram at E1 Race. You can catch us live here every Thursday night from 10 p.m. until midnight. I'm your host Daniel Woodruff, and with me is Alex Young, the superstar Malaysian motorsport king. You are the founder of Axel Sports. You are a former Formula One driver, race director of the E1 Championship. How are you doing, Alex?
I'm good. It's really good to be here. Another weekend, another night of exciting racing ahead of us.
Good. And we've already had 3 rounds of the E1 Championship. We've gone all the way to Sepang in Malaysia, Shanghai in China. We've just wrapped up at the Dubai Autodrome in the United Arab Emirates. And tonight we're going to be in Imola. What's been the highlight for you so far?
The racing has just been phenomenal. I mean, Sepang and Shanghai, we had last lap overtakes, last corner of the race overtakes. UAE also exciting racing. The lead kept swapping all the time, although we didn't quite have a last corner, last lap overtake in that race. And now we're here at Imola, and the top guys, they're always switching. Good one weekend, not so good the next weekend. And now we're here at Imola, and I really can't tell who's going to win today.
Yeah, I'm excited for all the racing tonight. And as you said, we've had a jam-packed season so far. We're only halfway through the season. But let's take a quick look at the highlights from the last round in Dubai.
And there you see action-packed start, cars everywhere. Naqib Aslan with a great start, beat pole sitter Miko Nasi off the line. Miko Nasi here recovering up into second position and then up into the lead. And then after that, he couldn't be caught. Just ran away with it. Good battle behind Miko Nasi with Aslan in second and Inigo third. Then the second race, reverse grid, and again mayhem at the start. But we had Yevan David lead in the early laps, although he fell back with tyre wear. Then Inigo Anton looked like he was going to win the race, but he also had issues with tyre wear, and there's lots of carnage behind him. And in the end, Inigo Anton was overtaken for the lead with half the race to go, and Miko Nasi was the first driver to score a double win this season.
So after round 3, let's take a look at the Drivers' Championship standings so far. And after 3 rounds, we have the cool Finn of Miko Nasi holding his own at the front with a slender margin of a 6-point gap to Naqib Aslan, the Stratos Motorsports driver in P2. In third, we have Ayman Akeem, 31 points behind. And what I love about this is that there are 3 different teams there in the top 3. He's got his RSG teammate Mika Hakimi in P4, 1 point behind, followed by Troy Ayman in 5th. Inigo Anton, the fast Filipino, in 6th, Kalen Shin in 7th, Yevan David in 8th, Alistair Young in 9th, and Colin Lee rounding out the top 10. Now let's take a look at the Team Championship standings, where we've got a very tight spread between the top 3. We've got 18 points separating that top 3 there. So the championship win is still totally up for grabs. We've got GT Radio Eurasia Motorsports leading the mid-pack with 93 points, and close behind them are Scuderia Stratos in 5th, ERacing GP in 6th, Black Wolf Racing in 7th, and all the way down the order, Volvo Racing, EGG Network, and I1 Racing in 10th. So we've got some excellent racing so far. Still a very, very tight championship fight. So, Alex, when people watch this, they look at you. They know that you have that traditional racing background. For people that know me as well, I've gone through karting to Formula racing, U2, karting, touring cars, Formula One, the very, very top. You guys are on the right channel. We're on an ERacing channel. What's the E1 Championship all about?
Well, I mean, we see the explosion of talent in this region. That's what it's all about. E1's basically the F1 of esports. And because we've had that explosion, we've seen so many good drivers, so many good teams now in the region. We need an F1 for esports, and that's what E1 is all about.
As you said, we've got some amazing drivers, a great mix of drivers here tonight. Without further ado, let's go and meet them.
Okay, so the first team we have is RSG. Ayman Hakim and Mika Hakimi, the Malaysian pairings, who were very strong in round 2. Round 3, not so much.
And up next we have Wolf Virtual Racing Team, fielding the 2 Malaysians of Colin Lee and Alvin Yak. Strong performance by some of them during the last round. They're going to put in a strong performance tonight as well.
The next up is the Philippines team, Inigo Anton and Joaquin Garrido, 2 very promising youngsters.
And up next we have Stratos Motorsports, the well-known karting team in Asia, having a go at the esports world with their driver in real life as well, Yevan David, as well as the e-racer Nakib Aslan.
And then the sister teams, Scuderia Stratos, and again they have a pair of very young drivers, however both of them from Malaysia, Troy Ayman and Arif Azmi.
And up next on the grid we have the Singapore-based Black Wolf Racing, fielding the young 14-year-old Australian Kaylin Chin, a karting champion, alongside him Daniel Oy, the Singaporean team owner.
And then we have Benjamin James Seek, along with him, partnering with him is Lu Chen Yang, who make up I1 Racing, the team from Brunei.
And next is Safehouse Racing, 2 familiar faces in the e-racing and traditional motorsports world. Alistair Young, the 17-year-old Malaysian, with Miko Nasi, the championship leader at the moment.
And then we go to Team EGG, where all our personalities are. Whelan Choi, he's our joker in the pack, always great to watch him. Then Leona Chin, the drifter girl, very versatile driver and always great with her videos. Then Ivan Vantaggiato from Australia, 32 years old and very quick.
And rounding out the grid, we have the ERacing GP team with drivers from our leaderboard. Ayman Hazik from Malaysia, the 22-year-old. Alongside him, Alex Chia. And lastly, we have Mohamed Zini, a new face to the E1 Championship grid. Really excited to see what he can do tonight. So we have a fantastic mix of drivers. But before we get to the action, let's take a quick conversation, quick chat with the teammates at Wolf Virtual Racing Team.
Hello.
Hey guys.
Can you guys hear us? Hi, Hussein. How's it going? How are you?
Doing good. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. So, Wolf Virtual Racing Team, well-known name in the esports arena, but coming into the E1 Championship, we've had 3 races already. Imola tonight, a very, very different track. How have you guys been preparing for this circuit?
Well, if you were to compare Imola to the other 3 circuits we've been, you can say that Imola is the first old school circuit that we are trying to tackle in this round. So the track itself is quite narrow and the curbs, the runoffs are very unforgiving. So we need to find a new set of blueprint to make sure our car fits on the Imola circuit.
Okay. And just a quick question to Colin. Colin, you had a pretty good round 3. So things are looking up, things are improving. How's it going for you this season?
I'll be practicing quite hardly to get the result, and I'm hopefully to get even way better result from the 3 previous rounds.
And Alvin, this one's for you. Imola, we mentioned now it's saying a very, very difficult track. How have you been preparing going in, and what's the hardest part about this circuit?
Well, I think the hardest part of the circuit is definitely the narrow track and the very little runoff area you get, and also the curbs are very, very hard to avoid. So the challenging part is actually to stay on the track and try not to have as much contact as any other cars.
And a final question for both of the drivers. We're at the halfway point now in the championship. How closely do you guys look at the championship points, or do you guys just take it race by race? Colin, we can start with you.
With me, there's any improvement on the oncoming races. I believe there's a break in between the last of December, and after that I'll be trying to push myself the limit of myself to achieve even better scores.
Alrighty, well, thank you, gentlemen. I really look forward to see the performances you put in tonight. Best of luck, and we'll speak to you guys very soon. Thank you.
Thank you.
Now, on the topic of Imola, exciting circuit, steeped in history, let's take a closer look at our track for tonight. So tonight we go all the way to Italy, the Autodromo Internazionale Enzo e Dino Ferrari, also known as the Imola circuit, also known as the San Marino GP for all of you that watch Formula One. As you can tell, the track has been named after Ferrari's late founder, Enzo Ferrari himself. The track is located in Imola, in the Emilia-Romagna region, which is in northern Italy, top of the boot. The track goes in an anti-clockwise direction and is at 4.9 kilometers long, so it's one of the shorter tracks we've seen this season so far. There's 19 turns in total, and the track has held 28 Formula One Grand Prix. You can see there, very Italian layout with a lot of chicanes, very, very fast, and a very, very long back-to-front straight. An excellent point for DRS use, and one where I know that our drivers will be using it for a lot of overtaking. And there you can see our usual suspects for the tires: soft, medium, and hard. Now, for the exciting bit, Alex, take us for a lap of the Imola circuit.
Okay, now going down the start, finish straight, over 300 kilometers per hour. This is turn 1, this left-hander, so it's easily flat. Before you brake for turn 2, lots of overtaking opportunities into turn 2. You can outbrake someone. Through turn 3, easy flat through 4. And now a short straight before turns 5 and 6. Now you've got to go flat through 5 and then brake for 6. We carry so much speed through there. Then a very famous corner coming up, turn 7, Tosa. Lots of side-by-side action in the past. I remember Schumacher, Montoya going side-by-side through there in the past. Then up the hill to Piratella. Piratella says turn 11, very fast. Just stab on the brakes and just commit. Use all the curb on the exit if you want to be quick, not too much. Then into the roller coaster section. You go down into Acqua Minerale and then back up again over the brow. It really does feel like a roller coaster when you go through there, especially in these super fast cars. Then this corner here, the chicane. It used to be overtaking opportunity in the past. It's a bit too fast now. You really need to be alongside someone if you are going to overtake through there. Then this right-hand kink, turn 16 for braking for the last 2 corners. Rivazza, turn 17. Again, monster the curbs. Then the last corner here. You've got to be on the power early out of here because it goes onto the start-finish straight, the longest straight on the circuit, and this is where the DRS will come on and you do all your overtaking.
Awesome, I love that track. Alex, have you raced there before in real life?
Yeah, it's really daunting as well.
Well, as you mentioned before, there's going to be a lot more tighter tracks than in the previous circuits. Overtaking, that's going to be so difficult. It puts a bigger emphasis on qualifying.
Yeah, it does. I mean, you start-finish straight's the best place. You've got the DRS there. But you have to take risks if you want to overtake. There's always going to be a lot of contact. And the curbs. The curbs are massive. You can damage the suspension on the curbs. Of course, we have full damage with these cars. So drivers are going to have to be careful.
And you mentioned contact, incidence points. That's something we're going to look out for as well.
Exactly.
So incident points, drivers won't want to be getting penalties. Championship points, huge at this point in the season. We're halfway now, so drivers really need to be thinking long-term as to where they want to be in the championship. But let's take a look at what our drivers think of the Imola circuit.
One of the best racing series in the world go here.
I think the Imola circuit is one of the greatest tracks of all time. It's so fast, not many areas you can rest.
There are some challenging twists and corners, and since the track is relatively narrower, I'm sure there will be a lot more crashes and incidents in the upcoming match.
All the chicanes, one corner leading to the other.
T8 to T10 is very challenging, and if I miss the track limits and bumps, car will send you off the track.
If you go off the track, then you're basically done.
It'll take some time to recover back on the track, and especially when you have to clear the dirt from the tires.
To really get in the flow of the track, you really need to have a lot of confidence with the car and everything, the car setup.
Since everyone's going to be close together, it gets pretty hectic.
Wish me good luck in the Imola circuit.
We should and will expect to be fighting for the win.
And let's see how he goes this round.
Hey guys, and welcome back to the E1 Championship. Don't forget you can catch our live stream on our Facebook page, E1 Championship, and also follow us on our Instagram and Twitter handles at E1 Race. Now, our drivers are getting ready for qualifying very soon, but first let's have a very quick refresher on the championship rules and format. So the E1 Championship will have 8 rounds, which means 8 different circuits. We've already been to 3 in Asia and the Middle East, and tonight we go to Imola in Italy, with the tracks later on taking us through more of Europe and finally in Bathurst in Australia. Each round will have a qualifying round which determines your starting position. We then go on to a 15-minute race 1, and then we have a 30-minute race 2, which has the added twist of a reverse grid. And of course, the aim of the game is to get points, and there are points on offer for your positions in qualifying, going to the top 5, as well as in the races themselves. In race 1 and race 2, points are available for the top 15. Now, drivers will also be going for those extra 2 points that they get for the fastest lap. The drivers that walk away with the most points at the end of all the rounds and towards the end of the championship will be crowned our very first E1 Championship winner. And our winner will walk away also with a cash prize. Our top 5 will walk away with a cash prize, $15,000 on offer for our drivers. So exciting stuff. We've got qualifying coming up right after this. Over to Alex and Des to walk you through the action.
Thanks very much, Daniel. Yes, very, very fascinating circumstances, Alex. We're at the halfway stage of the season. 2 drivers in particular, Mikko Nassi and Naki Baslan, have really dominated proceedings so far. The rest have got to make a move now.
Yeah, I mean, it's been neck and neck. After the first 2 rounds, 6 of them were really close, but then we saw in Dubai that Mikko Nassi with a double win and Nakib there in second position. So they've pulled away a little bit away from everyone. But we've seen it, just the fortunes keep changing from round to round because car setup is so important. And if you get it slightly wrong, get it out of the window. Either your tire wear will be too high or the pace just isn't there.
Mikko Nassi is the championship leader. He had back-to-back wins last time out in Dubai. But I noticed late, coming into the game today, he was very late into practice. Has he had enough of a look around this Imola circuit?
Well, you see, all the teams now are getting quite professional. They have their own servers where they practice on. And I think Mikko, we saw him in the last race as well. He was one of the last drivers to jump into the practice server. And I think he's just playing these games. He already has a server he can practice on. So he's probably thinking, I'm not going to show my hand just yet and come in as late as possible.
Well, yeah, there you can see he's in the pits. He's parked. He's very static at the moment. He is the 5th fastest. The fastest guy we've got on the circuit so far, though, a time of 1:14.728 is Mika Hakimi. Now, Mika's a fascinating character. He's not finished lower than 6th this season. He's been on the podium 4 times.
Yeah.
Perhaps he's the one who can actually break out.
Yeah, and that's a good point. So, Mika, I hope you were listening to that. You know, you've been on the podium so many times, haven't had your win yet. Do you think you're going to get it today?
I think, I'm going into every race without any expectations, so this one is no different. So I'll just put on my best performance and hope for the best.
Well, you're fastest at the moment, so it's looking pretty good. So hopefully you're able to get that.
Yeah, it is looking good, but free practice means nothing. I mean, Bottas is always quick in free practice, but he lost the championship, so.
Ooh, that's a burn. Okay, thanks, Mika. Well, good luck later on.
Thank you.
We've still got 3.5 minutes worth of practice for the guys to get out. I'm sure Mika will try to get out on the circuit once again, Alex. Anyone else you'd really just like to have a look at? I mean, I know Tadashi, Ayman Hakim Tadashi has been pretty good, but who else should we maybe try and talk to?
Maybe actually, wouldn't it be quite cool to try and talk to Inigo Anton? We could just try and listen in on them just a little bit, see what they're doing. There we are, Inigo right now, and we've been talking to him a little bit. We can hear them just talking a bit right now. Just jumping in with you guys. Inigo, how are you doing? How's preparation going so far?
Hi. Yeah, it's just doing fine. Just doing more laps, just getting more used to the car. Yeah, hopefully you'll have a good race this time out.
Okay, well, you almost took your first win in the second race of the previous round. You got so close. What was your feeling there when you took the puncture?
Oh yeah, it happens, and we really didn't know why it punctured, but it's part of the game, and yeah, hopefully we just don't have a repeat of that. Hopefully we fix the problem already.
Yeah.
So what's the strategy today? I mean, we've obviously gone to ×2 tire wear. We balloted it just now. We did it on the randomizer wheel.
Yeah.
So tire wear is not going to be so strong today, or you think it's still going to be an issue?
Well, just even the nature of the track wasn't as, there's not that much tire wear compared to like Dubai or Sepang or Shanghai even. So like, yeah, we can be more aggressive with the car, not really take care of it that much, but still in the back of our minds that we always have to tire manage.
Okay, well, there you are, going for a practice start. I'll leave you to it. Good luck for the race.
Thank you.
Good call on Inigo, that was. Actually, he has not finished lower than 4th in qualification. He has been very, very quick around all of the circuits so far. Imola is also a quick track, but a pole position, a high position on the grid is more important here because there's so few overtaking opportunities.
That's a very good point. He's not been able to quite convert in the races yet, but he's almost there. If he qualifies like he usually does, that could set him up very well. Maybe even get pole position, maybe even win the race.
Well, there he is just out on the circuit now. You flew us around us before as we come into toes of this sharp left hand, and then they go up the hill. It's a very narrow circuit, and that can seem a little bit intimidating to certainly the less experienced drivers.
And also because the cars are so fast, you see you narrow, but you just got to pick your points here, and it really is like threading the eye of the needle. Going through here, Acqua Minerale, you just carry so much speed down the bottom. It's amazing. I mean, I'm fortunate to have done it in a real race car, and in these things, it's incredible.
Okay, Ayman Hazik is another guy who perhaps we will have a look at. He's one of the guys who's qualified through the ERGP leaderboard. He's in his 3rd race here. He's had a couple of 10-pointers, a couple of 6th positions, but he's not really, he wasn't 6th, it was twice 8th. But what's Ayman doing wrong?
Well, I mean, don't forget, he's invited from the ERGP leaderboard, so they have to carry a little bit of ballast, which will compromise him a little bit on pace. But he also hasn't quite put together his weekend. You always feel that he could do a little bit better. I'm sure we will see him get better as we go on.
Again, he's one of the Malaysians. There's a lot of Malaysians in this E1 Championship. The first time we've had the E1 Championship. You saw the drivers there. They're just getting into the pit lane because the all-important qualification period is coming up. We've got a 5-minute qualification followed by a 15-minute race followed by a reverse grid race. Can you see anyone shocking Nakib and Miko Nasi today?
Well, they will have, obviously, they have a little bit of success ballast. Each race, the finishers from the previous round do have to carry a bit of success ballast, which will cost them a little bit of time. It's all going to be down to qualifying again. Who can nail it in qualifying? We've seen Miko Nasi nail it in qualifying. Nakib, he hasn't nailed a qualifying lap this year, really. So let's see if he can do it today.
Now then, just as you were talking, I glanced down because Miko Nasi put in the fastest lap in the practice session, and he's out first for his first flying lap. So there is the championship leader, but not showing championship form on that one. Will start again. So now then, how about this one? Ivan Vantaggiato, who missed the last race. He's one of the privateers, but look at that. He's first out, but fastest through Sector 1 for Ivan.
Yeah, one of our personalities in the Team EGG, and he's doing a great job. Although he's purple in Sector 1, but like we said, he's probably the first through timing beam, so there will be faster drivers. Gets a bit sideways there, doesn't use all the track, strangely enough. That's going to cost him quite a bit of time. Then he's coming through. There he is soaring at the wheel as he comes through the chicane. So purple again in Sector 2. So when you see purples at the bottom, that means you're fastest of all. If you see greens, it means you're fastest that you have done, but not fastest of the field necessarily, whereas purple means you're fastest of the field. And so at the moment, Ivan is fastest of everyone, but he's also the first one on track as he crosses the timing beam in just a couple of seconds, and his time is...
He goes fastest.
16.6. He's fastest at the moment, but there will be faster times for sure.
But a moment in the spotlight for Ivan Vantaggiato. That's good to see. Immediately, though, Alvin Yak has gone quicker than him as well. And so Alvin is another who we rarely have a look at because he's not picked up that many points. A 13th position, his best... 8th position, his best performance of the season.
Well, that's a big improvement from Alvin into the 14.6. That might get him to the top 10. Great to see. But now look at that. A lot more faster drivers there. Troy Iman has gone quickest. Wow, Troy Iman's gone quickest. So the young Malaysian, and there you go.
Miko Nasi is fastest as he's coming round to the end of another lap. So he has put in a 14.0 Nasi. as we're just following him here. This could well be his second fast lap here.
Yep.
Nakib Aslan is alongside him on the front row of the grid at the moment, Alex.
Yeah, let's just have a look at Nakib right now. Nakib, they're both at the same parts of the track. Obviously, in qualifying, they run by themselves. So we can follow both drivers by switching between them. Right now, Nakib there just went through turns 2, 3, and 4, coming up to turn 5s. Mikko Nasi's had to restart his lap, so he's going to try and do it one more time. But let's stay on board with Nakib Aslan. He's just gotten sector 1, 2 turns quickest.
That is quick.
Wow, okay, so this is quicker than Mikko Nasi. This might be quick enough for pole position if he can hang on. Still got 2/3 of the lap to go. This is the guy in second place in the championship. Oh, he's right on the limit there. I think he was just okay as far as track limits go. Looks okay, so he's just runs a bit wide on entry. That's going to cost him some time. A little bit wide on the exit as well. Going for the shortest distance now through the chicane. Coming up to the end of sector 2. Oh, he's just inside, still purple. Overall, this will be good enough for pole. He's got 2 more corners to go. He's in the final.
It's tight.
It is very tight. Into Rivazza, here we go. Turns in just a bit late, but he gets the rotation he needs. Now, last corner. Oh, track limits. I'm not sure if that's going to be counted. I think he might be okay. Let's see. Shortest distance to the line.
At the moment, it is pole position for Nakib Aslan. Little fist pump as well from the 20-year-old Malaysian. So Mikko Nasi, he has got to respond. We focus on the top 2. Mikko stops again. He's still second fastest. Kalen Chin, he was another one late in. Let's see, comes around that. He flicks the tail there. Oh, that's not a very disciplined lap from Kalen Chin.
No.
5th position only for Kalen.
But it's pretty good. He's only 1600ths outside of Nakib's time. It's his fastest sector that he's done so far. Mikko Nasi's given up. He won't have time to do a time. So it's now down to Kalen Chin. Can Kalen Chin snatch pole? This bit here was when Nakib was a bit messy, I thought. So if Kalen... Oh, that looks really good, actually. That does look good. Maybe Kalen might be able to do it. Here we go. Coming to the end of sector 2. Let's see if he can keep it clean through the chicane. Oh, he's just outside. He's still on course. This could be good enough for front row, certainly, maybe even pole position.
These are provisional results that we're seeing. We'll stick on with Kalen Chin, though, because he will finish his lap. He's got these 2 left-handers and then the long straight. We'll have a look on Kalen Chin. He is the possibility.
No, he doesn't have enough time. He doesn't cross the line in time, the finish line in time, so he stays P5.
Wow. Well, P5 for Kalen Chin, but up at the front, first row of the grid, Nakib Aslan. So that was the response. The gauntlet was thrown down last week by Mikko Nasi with back-to-back wins. Nakib has said, I will take your 2 wins, sir, and I will see you.
Wow, yes, definitely. First blood, isn't it? That's an excellent way of saying it. Can he pull off the double win today, then?
Well, he needs to, but it's they're not the only 2 in the championship. Remember, there are 8 rounds. You drop your worst round. That is one of the key elements that we've got to remember, because going into the final round, we've got double points as well. So that is a real doozy for those. If you've got a half a lead going into the final round, you could easily lose it.
I thought maybe we'd chat to Nakib after qualifying, but we're going to go straight into race 1. So we're going to let him focus now. The time is not long enough between qualifying and race 1. Here we go. We're about to start.
Okay, so the garage is there. When the red lights go on at the very top of the screen, that is when the drivers are all ready. And we have got Nakib Aslan on the front, in the green, on the right-hand side of your screen. Nakib Aslan, the red lights are about to go off. We are underway. Nakib has got off to a solid start. Mikko Nasi has been left behind. But look at the start made by Troy Iman. And Troy Iman, the Stratos Scuderia driver, well, he had the lead as Nasi is caught by Kalen Chin. And Kalen Chin drops down 4, 5, 6 places.
Wow, so there was contact between Nasi and Kalen Chin. Oh, Troy Iman's had a moment. Oh, and now Nasi's going to try and go back into second position.
So Troy Iman, having got off to a good start, he's got himself back into second ahead of Mikko Nasi. At the front, Nakib Aslan has got away, and Mika Hakimi is making a move there as well. In the distance is the race leader. Then you've got Troy Iman, then Nasi and Mika Hakimi. Inigo Anton's made a good start, but wow, Kalen Chin, who had a very, very good position on the front row of or second row of the grid, he is way down in P15.
Yeah, I think the stewards are going to have a look at that turn 1, because there's that small contact between Nasi and Kalen Chin. And oh, look, he's like you said, he's down in 14th. Looks like he can make a position here. Maybe go around the outside of this right-hander. Is he going to hang it? Because he'd be on the inside for the next corner. Oh, and he's going to try and take 2 cars. I thought he was for a second there. Just about gets away with it. Oh, such a shame. Kalen has got the pace to win in E1. He just has these small mistakes like on lap 1, which is costing him dearly. But he's in the slipstream now, and he's behind, let's see, who is that? He's behind Ivan.
Vantaggiato.
Goes out. Oh, Ivan's blocking the inside. Very aggressive there. And there was just not enough space for
I need to take us back up to the front of the race because in P3, Mikko Nassi is trying to make a move there on Troy Iman. Tries to go round the outside on Toza. Has he got the drag? He has. You cannot overtake there. That's sensational.
Wow, what a great move. That's one for the highlight reel. Round the outside at Tosa. Executed perfectly. Mika Nassi, well done.
Nakib Aslam is leading by 2.7 seconds. Troy Iman in P3, and the perennial man who's there or thereabouts, Mika Hakimi, is in P4, and he is beginning to maybe make a move there on young Troy Iman.
Yeah, so DRS is open, so they are now attacking, and you can see the wing of Mika's just slams shut when he comes to the corners. So for those that don't know, DRS stands for drag reduction system. And if you are close enough of the car in front, if you're within a second of the car in front, you can use it 3 times a lap. And so you can see there's Troy Iman in the green and white car, but then the blue car behind Mika, the rear wing is tilted back, which sheds downforce and also sheds drag, which allows you to close in the car in front. And this is something that's happened in Formula 1, and it's great to see it in this game too. Because if you get too close to the car in front, you get into the dirty air, which affects the grip in the corners. So the DRS allows you to come back down the straight.
So Troy Iman in P3. You just seen Mikko Nassi go through there. Ayman Hakim Tadashi not too far behind either. Let's just get on board with Ayman Hakim. He's watching Mika Hakimi and Troy Iman in front of him as they race up that. This is a quick track, Alex.
Yeah,
this is a wicked track.
It is. It's such a great track to drive. And then now down into Aqua Minerale. Oh, and then back out again. They are just right on it. And Ayman Hakim, he did not have a good qualifying. He should be really, he's won 2 races in E1 already. I really expected him to be in the top 3. And he's just and this goes quite wide behind him. Inigo Anton just runs a little bit wide at the chicane, gives Hakim a bit of breathing space.
Okay, so that's Hakim and Hakimi. They are both from Team RSG, who are genuinely competing for the team championship. And both these racers, well, they've got to win today, you suspect. They've got to pick up points if they are genuinely looking for the $5,000 first prize at the E1 championship.
Yeah, and they have to work together. They really do. I mean, they do work together actually quite well. They practice together, and maybe they can use the DRS together to try and catch up. Oh, Mohamed Zini's had an issue. He slowed right down. Oh!
So that's Alistair. Was it Alistair Young, I think? So Alistair's having a problem. Zini, on his debut, is having a problem. I went to have a little look at young Mohammed, 17 years of age. Oh, that's he nearly swore on air there, I feel.
Yeah. So something went wrong there from maybe he's got a puncture or something. He's just slowed right down. Yeah, I think he's got some mechanical issues. He's trying to keep out of the way, let the cars go, which is very sensible of him. But we have to go back to the front because we've lost someone. Troy Iman's in first position.
Troy Iman has taken first from Nakib Aslan. So the 2 Stratos colours. Troy Iman, well, he was in the lead temporarily on lap 1. We're now on lap 4, towards the tail end of lap 4. And you're quite right. Troy Iman's got the better of Nakib.
While we were watching that incident points, he went from third to first. So obviously the DRS is having quite a bit of an effect here. Let's see the drivers now as they go to pass the start-finish line. And it's going to be a 3-way battle. Can Nakib now come back at Troy? And yes, he can as they come braking for turn 1. Down the inside. Nicely done. Textbook way. And it's back to how it was about a lap ago.
So Nakib Aslan must have made a mistake, I suspect. Front 5 remain the same. Front 6 remain the same. Mikko Nassi getting very close. Goes round the outside once again. Mikko, he did that last lap and he's done it again.
Yeah, so, okay, Mikko Nassi with another brilliant move around the outside of Tosa. Now we got championship leader right behind the runner-up in the championship at the moment. I would really love to know how Troy got back to the front. Maybe we'll talk to Troy after this. But yeah, it's really, really, really getting close here.
What a procession that is, because you go back as far as P6, and Inigo Anton, there is a train there, a very fast train, but Inigo Anton is 6. In front of him, he's got the team RSG in 5th and 4th, then Ayman Nassi and Nakib.
Yeah. So Inigo, at least it's a 6-way fight for the lead. Isn't that incredible? That's what we get at E1. We get close racing all the way. And here we go down the start-finish straight. Is Nassi within a second? He is within a second. So we will have DRS on this next lap, which will allow him to close the gap to Nakib Aslan.
Trying to utilize it as best as he can. Not quite close enough, though, to pick up Nakib Aslan. These two, 1 and 2 in this race, 1 and 2 in the championship. And if they get big points today, they will be a long way away. A little bit sloppy, that one from Miko, off the racing line, but he's closing. He's closing on Nakib.
Yeah, and he'll probably use a DRS later in the lap. He's saving it up for later in the lap, but he's 8/10. He can't afford to lose much time. So Nakib knows this. This is a time for him to try and pull away a bit of a gap. Yes, just over a second now, back down to 9/10. If he can cross the start-finish line and be a second in front of Miko Nassi, maybe he can break free.
As they come under the Astro sign, you just look at that. Miko Nassi, he never looks worried, but he doesn't look particularly comfortable because that differential has gone up beyond the second. Top left of your screen, Nassi, 1.1 second down. Nakib is really giving this some welly at the tail end of lap 6.
Yeah, but Miko Nassi will have the DRS down this straight. He's just within a second. He's just hanging on right now. Aslan's doing a really good job.
Is he close enough? Look at that. Yes, he was, wasn't he?
Yes,
he was.
Just within a second. Just within a second. So he will have DRS for this lap as well. But Aslan's looking very fast and very determined. And he's determined to try and break the toe to the second position black car.
So that's 1 and 2. Let's just break away temporarily away from 1 and 2. Even Vantaggiato, who had a very decent qualification. He's on the back there of Cherm Lu, who's had a difficult season. And Vantaggiato knows he's on television, gets a little bit scared, pushes a little bit too much, and cannot get beyond P14. But a decent drive so far. He's in the points, is Ivan.
Yeah, I'm surprised he's not using the DRS down the straight. So he could have used it because he's within a second. But yes, Cherm Lu doing a good job in 13th position.
Okay, Kalen Chin. He is feeling the pressure, is Kalen Chin. Arif Azmi in the Stratos Lime Green is right behind Kalen. Kalen and Black Wolf Racing is struggling this. I don't understand because we know he's a sensationally quick driver.
Yeah, he is. So again, just getting, we saw him get that mix up in that first lap. But he's trying to recover. He's back up in the 10th, Arif there. Arif was right up there as well, but he made a mistake and he dropped back as well. So not having a good day so far, and both of them are behind the white car in front, whacking Garrido. Oh, the young Filipino there just had a sideways moment. That's going to cost him a lot of time. And look, the Arif's watching this battle, but Kalen's going to get him down the front straight. You've got to feel that.
Well, there is Kalen. Let's go on to the back of Kalen once again as he overtakes. Can he take it? Yes, he can. The DRS just drops in very nicely, and Kalen up to P9.
Wow, so we just missed it. Alvin Yak got in front of Ayman Haziq, but Ayman Haziq's back in front again. So getting very close again between these two drivers. A big battle.
Back
right
up
now.
to the front, Alex, because Miko Nassi has closed right in onto the tail of Nakib Aslan. Where are we? We are just 5 minutes to race, and Nassi is looking to make it 3 wins in a row. He's looking quick. Fast lap time is 1:14.3, which belongs to Miko Nassi.
Yeah, so 14.3, that's the fastest lap out there by quite a bit, so he'll get the 2 points for that. Limit the damage, but if he can get into the front, that's what he wants to do. He wants to win, and he's closing that gap. Look at that.
He's in DRS range as they come at the end of lap 8 there, onto lap 9. Nassi makes the maneuver around the outside, and Nakib, a little bit of contact, and Nakib showed real street craft there. And Nakib has retained first position.
Wow, so that's really, really well done between both of them. Racing super hard. They both know what's at stake here. And, it's coming to the business end of the race. Only 4 minutes to go.
Okay, a little bit further down. Inigo, Anton, Akim, and Troy Iman. That's 4, 5, and 6. And Inigo is looking to maybe have a look on the back of Tadashi as Vantaggiato gets a slowdown penalty. Up at the front, Nakib leads from Mikko Nasi. This is Inigo, Anton, and Iman Akim is feeling the pressure as they go up the hill. Inigo, has he got enough speed, Alex, to make a move?
Yeah, not so sure. Ayman Akim is very quick, but he has got the DRS. But the problem is, Akim also has got the DRS because he's within a second of Troy Ayman in 4th position. But Mika Hakimi has done a good job to get up to P3.
Mika looks like he may well have another podium finish up to the front, though. Nakib, Nasi. Nasi will have the DRS. We've followed this lovely, lovely battle, and this time Nasi, Alex Young, is going to make the move. Will maneuver, but is closed out in the same place again. Nakib defends magnificently for the second straight lap.
And now coming to this left-hander here. He's looking down the inside, but not quite close enough. And Nakib now hangs on. Okay, so now we're getting to the end of the race. They have to worry about tire wear. Ooh, Mikko Nasi down the inside. Contact.
Nasi takes the lead ahead of Nakib Aslan. 3 minutes to go, and is that the maneuver that enables him to pick up maximum points? Look bottom left of your screen. Nakib was not impressed with that move.
No, he wasn't, but it was such a great move. Mikko Nasi has made Tosa his corner. He's done 3 overtakes there. Round the outside, down the inside, but now we're coming up to back markers, and what's going to happen? We've seen back markers play at their point before.
Somebody's gone off. Oh, that was Whelan Choi. Whelan's got to get in the race somehow. Let's just take out the race leader.
Wow.
And you're quite right. The back markers, they do well to move out the way. So, 2:26. What's this? We have got 2 laps to go, Alex Young. 2 laps to go.
Okay, so Nakib's got the DRS. He's going to go around the outside. Can he make it around the outside? Oh, no, not quite able. And Mikko Nasi does a great job to defend.
Will he want to take the lead this lap, though? Because he'll want the DRS going into the final lap, surely.
I think he wants to take the lead now. If he's not trying to do it now, I think that's just too dangerous because Mikko Nasi is too quick. He's too quick. You've got to take your chances. You can't just wait till the last lap.
We're going to have to rename that corner Nasi corner because of the way he's taken Tosa so quickly. And look at these front 2. Nasi is trying to make a charge here. His last lap was a 1:16.8, which was 0.3 quicker than Nakib Aslam. As they come up the hill, behind them, Mika Kimi, Ayman, and Akim are all closing in.
Yeah, so I think he's made a mistake. He's not doing it. I think that was a poor decision not to make a move on the previous lap, and now he's made the mistake. He's losing too much time. 0.6 is not close enough to try and overtake this lap, I feel. You have to be perfect, and I think he's going to require Mikko Nasi to make a mistake out of this last corner.
This will be the final lap. We're coming into the final lap. Mikko Nasi has a lead of half a second over Nakib Aslan. This is 1 and 2. Nakib tries to go around the outside and does!
Wow.
Nakib Aslan has the lead.
Wow, I did not expect such a big difference between the two. Nakib must have been hanging on before because that was such a big difference, even with DRS. And what a great move around the outside. Oh my gosh, we're at Tosa though. Will he defend the inside? He does, but
Tosa corner belongs to Mikko Nasi. He's gone on the inside. 4 overtakes on that same corner. That is insane. Virtual or not, and Nakib's under pressure from Hakimi for P2.
That was not good driving at all. You defend into Tosa. It's the last lap of the race. To not defend into Tosa was suicide. And of course, now Mikko Nasi has got the lead, and can he hang on for the lead? For the win? That is the question.
Well, Mikko Nasi has the lead. Nakib Aslan is that far behind. It's only half a second. And we are the race is at an end. These are the last 2 corners of this race. Mikko Nasi looking for 3 straight wins. Mikko Nasi comes through and will take the victory ahead of Nakib Aslan. Hakimi, another podium ahead of Troy Ayman, ahead of Tadashi, ahead of Inigo Anton and Alvignac and Ayman Hazik. But Mikko Nasi has held on to take this victory. Disappointments for Nakib Aslan, but Nasi, Alex, wow. Tosa corner.
Holy moly, Mikko Nasi, we're riding with you on Discord. What are you thinking right now?
Move up to third. And from what I saw, he's... What happened earlier on?
The back tires before the hairpin, and then he had to try to be really inventive to defend from me. So early in the race, it felt like he just ran me off the road. The cars don't really accelerate when you're touching, but I have to have a look at the replay to know what happened in all of those incidents. That was event-filled. That was awesome.
That was mental. Your overtakes at Tosa. Wow, highlight reel just by itself. 2 around the outside, 2 down the inside. Talk us through that.
Wait, which one's Tosa?
Tosa, turn 7.
All right. Yeah, the hairpin. Yeah, so I mean, most of them, at least 3 of them, I think, or at least the attempts, were when a car in front got gravel on their tires, just exiting the previous corner. That slows you down by about half a second into that hairpin. So I think that must have been what happened to Nakib in the early laps when Troy got back passed. So I thought I got him around the outside, but we just kind of interlocked tires or something like that. So.
Well done anyway. Good luck for the next one.
Mikko Nasi picking up maximum points. 25 for the win, plus the fastest lap. Nakib Aslan. Be lovely to hear from him maybe later on about what went wrong on that final lap, because, Alex, we thought he'd done everything right.
Yeah, he'd done everything right. He was leading in the last lap, but like Mikko was saying, obviously he's running wide at the corner for Tosa, picking up gravel and then compromising in the corner. But even if he was compromising the corner, you got to defend the inside, I feel. And he obviously was unable to do it. Maybe he ran wide and just allowed Nasi to come through. But again, wow, last lap overtake, excitement all the way.
It may be virtually racing, but these guys are as competitive as the guys in the cockpits themselves. Fantastic 3 wins in a row for Mikko Nasi. He'll extend his lead in the championship. They'll get ready for the reverse grid race, and before that, we'll head you back to Dan.
Thank you, Des. We're going to have all of the highlights from Race 1 as well as some interviews with the drivers coming to you shortly, right after this break. Hello everybody and welcome back to the E1 Championship. We've just wrapped up qualifying and Race 1 here at the Imola circuit. Don't forget, you can also catch all of the action on our Facebook live stream at the E1 Championship, as well as on our Instagram and Twitter pages at E1 Race. Alex, the main point for me there after Race 1 was DRS.
Yeah, big time DRS. And it was quite interesting the way they were all using it at the end. Seemed like they'd done the right strategy, but let's talk to the guy that was fighting for the lead, Nakib Aslan. I mean, let's hear from the horse's mouth, see what he was thinking as he went to those last few laps. And Nakib, what was that the plan to do that? Wait for the DRS for the last lap?
No, definitely not. I think looking at qualifying, really got a good lap in together. Was confident with our pace, so I think the main aim was actually to lead from the front and never look back. Obviously, it wasn't as straightforward as it seemed, but it was really fun fighting there with Mikko.
What happened halfway through the race when you guys dropped back behind Troy?
I got caught up behind a back marker, sadly. It was unfortunate. Wasn't how we planned it, but thankfully we could get back up there.
So Nakib, I know your team principal, James Russell, is probably going to be on the phone to you right after this, asking what happened when you were in the lead. He won, a lap to go, and just going into Tulsa, sorry. Mikko was just able to dive it on the inside. Were you fully defensive there?
Yeah, that's the thing. I'm not sure what happened there, but it looked a bit rough from my side. I'm not entirely sure. I'll look back at the replay and see what happened, but yeah, it was annoying to lose the lead at that point. I think we definitely should have won that race.
Yeah, Mikko said that you ran wide, got gravel on your tires, and you didn't have the grip to Tosa, so he dive bombed you. But yeah, hard luck. We have to look for the next race, really. Starting reverse grid. It's top 12, so you'll start P11. Can you win from there?
You always have a chance of winning when you're on the grid, so that'll be our game.
Okay.
All right, well, enjoy the DRS. We look forward to more overtaking maneuvers, and best of luck, Nakib.
Up next, let's go and have a chat with Mika Hakimi.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, Mika, you did pretty good. You did.
Sorry?
Mika, you did really good just now. You were P4 for a long time, but eventually got up to P3.
Yeah, I don't know. I was a bit, hesitant to get past Troy because based on the previous races, if I get past him, there's a chance I might just get hit. So, but I thought, going around the outside of turn 1 would be a good choice, and I ended up pulling it off. So I'm quite happy with that. But I think P1 or P2 could have been there if I put the quali lap together. So I'm quite disappointed.
So overtaking is going to be a very big element in race 2. We have the reverse grid. Overtaking is very hard on this track. It's very, very narrow. Where are the key overtaking points for you, and what are you going to be focusing on in the next race?
I mean, for me, as long as there's a braking zone and you turn, depends on who you're passing, obviously, like I said. But yeah, on this track, I see most braking points are good overtaking opportunities. So even turn 1, it's not quite a likely place to pass, but I still made it stick. So anything can happen.
We saw the front 2 a little bit faster than everybody else. Where do you think you can gain a little bit more time?
I don't know. It looks like they got good overall pace. I think I could have caught up with the top 2 a lot earlier in the race if I didn't get stuck in P4. So, but I think they were just too quick on the straight, so maybe we'll take off a little bit more wing.
All right, well, thank you, Mika. Best of luck for race 2.
Thank you.
Up next,
we have the highlights. Alex, walk us through what happened.
Okay. So here we go, obviously watching the cars at the start. Nakib didn't really get the best start, but Mikko Nasi had a really bad start. You can see Troy Iman on the outside going around into the lead. But Nakib was able to defend the lead, and then Troy Iman getting sideways, which allowed Mikko Nasi to go around the outside of him to P2. And then it looked like it was going to be quite normal. Mikko Nasi in 2. But then we saw Troy get back to the front, and then Nakib had to get by him, and then Mikko Nasi had to do another move around the outside, and Nasi got him nicely. And then really the 2 boys at front, Nakib and Nasi, started pulling away. And then this first move, Nasi down the outside at turn 1, really well done. Nakib came back at him. They were just banging wheels for the rest of the race, and it was like this. And then, this was a great move, wasn't it, Daniel? Down the inside at Tosa, catching Nakib off guard. And I would have thought at that point that Nakib would have been ready for it, because and this 2 laps ago, he tried to go on the outside again, and Nasi was not able to do it. And they're just getting a little bit closer. Then on the very last side of the race, he did do it, but Mikko Nasi see, this is him going around. This is the start of the very last race. He thought, wow, great move by Arslan. But then again, Mikko Nasi, same point, same move, and he was able to take the win. And you saw the disappointment in Arslan's face. He knows he should have won that race.
We did. We felt that pain. But let's take a look at the final results from race 1. Mikko Nasi bagging 27 points. You can see his points are in purple because he got an extra 2 points for the fastest lap of the race, extending his championship lead. Nakib Aslan there in P2, Mika Kimi in P3, Troy Iman, strong start, down in P4, Ayman Akeem P5, Inigo Anton, the fast Filipino in P6, Alvin Yag, Ayman Haziq, Kalen Chin, and Joaquin Garrido rounding out the top 10. So Alex, looking at the highlights, really the main thing for me there was racecraft. And we've seen other races in earlier rounds where Mikko might not have the top speed. He had the fastest lap here in the race, but racecraft is just something that sets them apart, and that's what allowed him to just pip ahead of Nakib.
Yeah, I mean, Nakib is one of the best racers in the region, if not the best, in many ways. It's speed, certainly. But we also have to forget, he's only been racing 2 years. Mikko Nasi, he's 35, he's a real-life driver, he's been driving a lot longer, and you could see that, and you're exactly right. The racecraft, Mikko Nasi knew exactly what to do. Nakib just maybe a little bit naive on that last lap, not keeping it clean, and leaving the door open at Tosa.
Well, I'm sure the team manager at Stratos Motorsports will be letting him know to be a little bit more defensive in the next race. And you can really see those dive bombs that Mikko was making. Very classic go-karting move, something that you really learn at that foundational level at motorsports. But talking about the cars of the E1 Championship, something we haven't highlighted too much. A lot of the drivers the viewers, I should say, would be forgiven for thinking that this was a Formula 1 car. But the Formula RaceRoom X17 is what they'll be driving. Not quite the same, is it?
Well, they've taken the best bits of the Formula 1 car. They've kept the V10 sounding we had from the back days with the screaming, shrill V10 sounds, which is, you know, the best part of Formula 1 from before. But they've put that V10 into the same modern day Formula 1 car with the big wheels, big downforce. So they have so much grip through the corners. And what I've liked is, although there is some dirty air if you're following the car in front, it's not as bad as real life. So at least the cars can follow. Because in real life, as soon as you get within 2.5 seconds of the car in front, you start losing grip. So that's why in real life you don't see much overtaking. And that's what I love about esports. You can curate it a bit, make the changes just a little bit so the racing is more exciting.
Alex, you were saying the V10, was that the Formula 1 car you drove that have a V10
yes,
engine?
mine had the V10 engine and I loved it.
Yeah, if you guys go to YouTube, type in Alex Young, you can hear that engine screaming just like the X17 on RaceRoom. And you guys can, of course, drive these cars yourself. And if you don't know how, message us on our Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter pages, and we'll help you guys out to get started. But first, let's have a look and see what our drivers think of the Formula RaceRoom X17.
Driving the X70 is definitely a big challenge for me, moving out from GT cars to Formula cars.
In the corners, you can definitely carry a lot of speed. It has a lot of grip.
These cars are really wide, and yeah, it makes for hard overtaking to small, twisty tracks.
The car, it has a lot of downforce.
This car definitely can take corners at a high speed.
But it's quite comprehensive. You really need to know what to do to drive the car.
A lot of time and practice to really understand the car and know how the car works.
There is a lot of understeer, but that can be fixed with proper setup.
The advantages is definitely that the FRX17 can take some corners flat out, while the others have to brake or lift in it.
I'm enjoying learning more about the setup, which will help improve my driving.
You really need to build skills to kind of save the tires. You're really easy on the throttle so you don't wear out the rear tires that much.
Need to keep practicing on my fast reflexes, going through the chicanes and consecutive corners.
The skills needed to drive that car are basically just really good reaction times because the car's very fast.
You have to be always alert on the time.
You need to know how much you can carry through the corners and basically how to control it through slow speed stuff, not overdriving the car.
So that's the vehicle that they've got to use, Alex. I know you thought long and hard before choosing this this Formula 1 vehicle. You were thinking of IndyCar, but it was a little bit delicate, and you were thinking touring cars. But in the end, what was the reason for choosing the Formula 1?
Well, we wanted something that would look great, right? And you could see the speed and you could see the skill level, and that's what this car provided. And also, it needed to provide good racecraft, and we've seen great racing. So with this was definitely a good choice. The other thing we worried about these single seaters are, like you said, they can be fragile. We have used the IndyCar, which is a bit fragile, and right now I couldn't be more pleased that we've chosen this car.
Talk to me about race number 1, 4 times, same corner. Tosa, which he didn't even know it was Tosa. That was the annoying thing. But he went on the outside twice and on the inside twice.
Yeah.
What? That's unheard of.
Yeah, so the outside is very possible around Tosa. We saw Montoya almost do it to Michael Schumacher years ago. But the inside, so I think Troy got caught out the first time. And then the second time, he had made a mistake. He'd gone on the gravel, like Mikko Nassi had said. And so that compromised his grip around Tosa. And that made it easier for Mikko Nassi. But Nakib, he'll be kicking himself. I mean, the first time he got mugged by Mikko Nassi, fine. But then to allow him to do it again on the last lap, that would have been too painful. So this guy, Aslan, he's going to be hurting. And when he's hurting, he pushes really hard. So we might see some magic from him in race 2.
So Nakib Aslam is the man who came second. As you say, he is hurting a little bit. The man who's going to be on pole, though, is Ben Seek. But Ben's not out on the practice circuit just at the moment.
Yeah.
I'd quite like to talk to Ben when he gets out there, because it'd be really interesting to see what the Brunei racer, because they haven't picked up many points, but he'll have the advantage of being on pole, will Ben, when he ever comes out to play.
Yeah, well...
Ben, where are you?
Let's see if we can talk to Ben now. Ben, you know, you got some good points just now. I love your outfit as well, by the way, mate. But you're going to start on pole now for this race. How are you feeling?
We're going to lead from the front, I think.
You're going to lead from the front.
I'm a bit nervous about it, but I'll try my best to to keep it steady out the front there.
All right, Benja. Good to see you there. There's
Cool,
the
man.
Kiwi.
Thank you.
What's your strategy going to be, though? Is tire wear going to be an issue?
Yeah, definitely. And I really just want to have a clean race. Stay out of all the chaos, the car damage, things like that, because there's a lot of that going on out there.
Yeah, there is. It's the driver coaches will say just look forward, don't look backwards, but it's impossible to do, isn't it? When you got so many quick guys right behind you.
But yeah, happy with that last race. So we'll try and keep it up, keep it
Okay,
steady.
great job, mate.
Cool, man.
All
Thank
the
you very
best.
much.
Good luck.
Thank you.
So Benzik will on pole position after posting his best result of the season. He picked up points last time out. He had a DNF in race number 1, no points in round 2, a 0 and a 2 points last time. So incremental improvement, Alex. It's not just about the winners.
Yeah, so I mean that's what I like about the I1 Racing guys. They're real enthusiasts. Based in obviously they're in Brunei, but it's the first time they're on RaceRoom. They've done lots of racing games, so they still have to get used to the subtleties of each game, which are always slightly a little bit different. But the main thing is the basics are the same. So that's why they're able to come onto a brand new game, brand new car, and do pretty well.
It is always good for us to be able to focus maybe on those who aren't at the top, because when the race is on, we'll be focusing on Nakib and Miko Nasi and Mika Hakimi, who picked up his 5th podium in 7 races.
Wow, yeah. I mean, he somehow just is able to get to the podium. He really deserves a race win, doesn't he? He's had the pace to win a couple times, but just not quite qualifying quite right. He was there right at the end, but if he can just qualify a bit better, I think he'll win a race.
Okay, we are at the tail end there of practice, just seeing Alex cheer. The garage, it means we've got 60 seconds or so. The reverse grid race, just explain your rationale for that. It's a 30-minute race that we've got, but it's a reverse grid race, and we rolled the dice and we came up with 12 positions reversed.
Yeah.
What's your rationale?
Well, because if you tell people what the reverse grid race is going to be, people will drive to that position. If you say top 10, then the guys at the middle pack, they're going to try and finish 10th. So in the race 1, we ran the wheel of randomizer thing, and it picks the number for us. So none of us know what it is until the end of race 1. And as it turned out, it's going to be the top 12, and that's why Benjamin Seek is in pole position.
Randomizer thing is the technical term. Make sure you learn that at home, ladies and gents. But it is part of the lottery, but it makes for great viewing. As the garage has got 10 seconds to go, then the red lights will go on. And when they go off, the red lights are indeed on. Right then, let's see if Ben Seek can get off to a good start. There he is at the very front of the grid, and we are underway. So Arif Azmi is the man who's taken the lead. Further down, real problems, but Arif Azmi has got off to a stormer. Kalen Chin in second, Ben Seek currently in third.
Wow, so it's looking really good for Arif Azmi. He's right up there. Kalen Chin, though, and we're in the... and he's nice. Don't run wide. We saw a lot of drivers running wide on the first lap at that corner. Oh, and someone's just gone off as we talk about it. But Kalen trying to go around the outside, and he is. He's got a great move around the outside, but he's going to be in the outside for turn 9. But no, Kalen Chin is into the lead.
So Tosa has another victim. Sorry about the slightly staccato vision there, but Kalen Chin is the man who is leading, and he has whipped away a full second clear of Arif Azmi. Ben Seek, we spoke to Ben just before. He's got off to a solid start. He's in P3, is the I1 Racing man. The white livery is being challenged by Inigo Anton. Inigo Anton from the Philippines on the hard tyres. We haven't spoken about the tyres. And Inigo has decided to go on the hard. Ben Seek and Kalen Chin have decided to go soft, Alex.
Yeah, so the soft tyres, he's going to have to go. He must be two-stopping as well. But Arif Azmi, actually most of the Stratos boys are on the hard tyres, so they must be going one stop, or even maybe not even stopping at all. Yeah, so it's going to be very tough indeed. Miko Nasi, he's on the soft tyre, so he's definitely going to try and two-stop, isn't he?
6th at the moment. There's contact. Inigo Anton and Tadashi. Inigo loses 2 places. This is the championship leader and the winner of race number 1. He is closing on the back of Ayman Akim. Tadashi goes on the inside, and he takes 2 this time, Nasi. Phenomenal. Oh, no, he doesn't.
No, he doesn't.
Not quite phenomenal. Not bad. He's got 1, though, as Nasi gets on the inside of Ben Seek. Ben Seek drops down to P5. Nasi's up to 4. Tadashi currently in P3. Arif Azmi and Kalen Chin way in the lead.
Yeah, so... And Ayman Hakim, he's on the soft tyre as well, so he cannot afford to let Mikko Nasi through. He needs to stay in front because they are on the same strategy. If he lets him through, he's going to really struggle.
Okay, Kalen Chin, Alex, has raced away to a 4-second lead. Remember, this is a 30-minute race, so if they're on a 2-stop strategy, they're looking around about 25 minutes. 20 minutes. 15 minutes before they make their first pit stop. I'm just trying to work out the logistics of it.
Wow, the 4 seconds in front. He's just running away. Soft tire. That's perfect for Kalen Chin. He's going to try and do one stop for sure. Well, they're definitely going to do pit stops. I think the guys on the hard tires, they might even try and do no stops. You never know. But it's great looking for Kalen Chin. And Arif Azmi as well. He's on the hard tire. He's in P3 right now. But Mikko Nasi just goes around the outside of him super easily.
And once again, it's on that corner for Mikko Nasi. Ayman Hakim Tadashi is the man who's in P2 now. It is all about pit stop strategy. The choice of tires is interesting. So what are they all on? Soft, soft, soft. The front three are all on soft. Anton in P5 is on a hard, but Ayman Hakim under pressure from Nasi. Wow, he's in some form, is Mikko Nasi, isn't he? He fancies this $5,000 first prize.
He does, doesn't he? He's driving so great. I really just love watching him drive because you can see him hitting his marks, hitting his apexes, getting it just right. See, Ayman Hakim, they missed the apex just there, and that's the difference right now. Mikko Nasi's in such great form. He doesn't miss his apexes right now. He carries just the right amount of speed. Obviously, his setup is good. He's been working hard every day, fine-tuning that setup. And now he's going to look around the outside of Ayman Hakim, but Hakim's got the inside for turn 1. But Mikko Nasi goes around the outside. Great move.
Superb from Mikko Nasi. He now looks back on Ayman Hakim. He's up into P2. Only Kalen Chin ahead of him. Kalen, 6.5 seconds clear. Well, actually, it's down to just under 6 now, but at one stage he got up to 6.5 seconds. He comes streaking down the hill onto that left, right. Oh, wow. He's going some pace in here. 1:16, best lap of 1:15.9, which, Alex, is a full second quicker than Mika Hakimi, who's second fastest.
Okay, so does he have the pace? So now Mikko Nasi's in second position. You know, he's on the soft tires, cleared all the hard tires. How fast will he close? It's all about race time now. Can Kalen, if he can keep putting times in the 15s, I think he can hold on. At least, you know, he'll be able to hold on perhaps. But if he can't, and Mikko Nasi starts dipping into the 15s, then it's going to be really hard to keep Nasi behind.
Just at this stage, let's go down. Troy Ayman has had a bit of a nightmare. He had to go into the pits. He's a long way down, is Troy Ayman. So he's definitely on a 2 pit stop strategy, but this is an enforced pit stop. He must have taken some damage in the early stages, Troy Ayman. He's last at the moment. Daniel Rain Oy as well is also having problems. He's struggled, the 42-year-old Black Wolf Racing man.
Yeah, so he's obviously he's going to have to try and limp back to the pits as well. You should go back further up. There's some action going on for the fight for 5th position. Mika Hakimi has just gone through to 4th position. And you can see him there just in front of Arif Azmi. So that's
hey, Nakib Aslan. Sorry, I thought he was leading at one stage. So Nakib, sorry, my apologies. Nakib's worked his way up into P8.
Yeah,
Kalen Chin still leading.
Yeah, Nakib had a terrible first lap. He was right at the back. He's on the hard tire though, so he can probably do less stops than the cars around him. But he's going to need to find something. Oh, and then of course we just saw Arif Azmi just go a bit wide just now. If he can keep it clean, Arif Azmi will get a really good result today.
Ben Seek and Nakib Aslan are there. Ben is trying to just hold on, learn from this experience. But Nakib goes on the inside, overtakes at that position. That's insane.
I think Ben was just trying to let him through. He doesn't have the pace of the cars around him, so he's just trying to get out of the way. But I'm saying, go for it, Ben. Don't worry about it. Just drive like you want. Oh, and then he gets hit by another car. That's why he's letting people through, because they keep hitting him.
So Ben Seek losing a little bit of ground. He was the man who started on pole. Interesting to say, he was a little bit nervous to see how much he could hold on. Within 7 minutes, Alex, he's dropped 8 places, and he is under pressure from Inigo Anton, Ayman Hazik. So Anton, so that is poor old Ben Seek is at the very front. He is going to get some serious problems in a moment. As Anton tries to go around the outside of Ayman Hazik. Yevon David is there. Now Yevon missed the first race, I think internet problems, so he's trying to pick up. Poor old Ben Seek has got 3 people after his blood. And Alistair, and your boy Alistair's made the move as well.
Yeah, he's there in 12th position. Yeah, and then so I want to go back to the front though. I mean, Arif Azmi is winning the hard tire battle. He's in 5th position, and he right now is, what is that? He's 10 seconds behind the leaders, the lead of the race, shall I say. So when they come in a pit, he will be leading. But he's got to show better pace, I feel. I think he needs to try and be a bit more consistent, because otherwise when the guys pit, they will catch him up very quickly.
His best lap is just inside 120, a 119.9. He will be on a 1 stop, might even be on a 0 stop.
Zero stop, I think. I think hard tires are going to try and go all the way without stopping. We saw Nakib almost win in Sepang. Whereas Ayman Akim eventually did win. He was 2 stopping. So I think the hard tires are going to be no stopping, whereas the soft tires will have to do 1 pit stop.
I'm just looking at these teenagers in the shot. They are going grey in front of our very eyes as Naki Baslan. He's another on a hard compound tyre. That's Alvin Yak that he's got in front of him. This is the battle for P6. And once again, I think Nakib, as we look at Tosa once again, Tosa seems to be a favoured spot for the top boys to try and make their overtaking manoeuvres.
Yeah, well, he's getting really close now to Alvin. He must be thinking about a move. Or as they go through Piratella, they're now coming to Aqua Minerales. You can't really overtake into there because it's so fast. But Alvin's doing a good job to hold on so far. Gets a pretty decent exit actually out of Aqua Minerales. So he holds on for now. But you just got to feel that Nakib will get him down the start-finish straight.
Alvin Yak's best finish so far this season was a P13 in round 2, so this is pretty good for him, holding on to P6 at the moment. I just need to go back to the front, Alex. We'll break away from Naki because Kalen Chin's lead is being evaporated at a rate of knots. He lost a full second to Miko Nasi on the last lap. At one stage he was leading by 6.5 seconds. Now it's only 1.5 seconds.
Yeah, so he needs to, oh wow, this is a terrible feeling. He knows he doesn't have the pace. He looks pretty calm though. So now if he's calm, that's a good thing. But you know, he's got a guy who's really on form catching him right now. Miko Nasi, real driver on form. And Kalen just, he needs to start thinking, okay, where else can I try and find some time here? Because if he can't be a little bit quicker, just got to feel that Nasi's going to swallow him up.
The differential, it's still 1.5 seconds, so he hasn't lost anything over the last lap. We are approaching the 1/3 point of the race. Top of your screen, the race time down to 20 minutes now. Kalen Chin, left of your screen in P1, Black Wolf Racing, but the lead is just being whittled away. Not quite in DRS range just yet, or is he? No, he won't be. So Nasi won't have the benefit of DRS, but he is lapping. He's just again made 0.8 of a second on the last lap. A 1:15.0 for Nasi, a 1:15.9 for Kalen Chin.
Yeah, so it's getting very close. But you know, Kalen Chin, catching up's one thing, but actually overtaking is quite another thing. We've seen Miko Nasi do some really good overtakes, but Kalen, you know, he's a very experienced karter. He's going to make that car as wide as possible.
Right, we'll just go back to Nakib Aslan. He has indeed worked his way past Alvin Yak. So Nakib has got himself up into P6, and he's actually, as soon as he got past Alvin Yak, he accelerated away. He's got himself a full 3 seconds clear of him. So there is Nakib Aslan. He's got his eyes on Arif Azmi. Now Nakib is on the hard compound tyres.
Yeah.
That could be fascinating.
Yeah, and he's just done a 16.0. That's a really quick lap time on the hard tyres. He's only a second a lap slower than Miko Nasi. So if he can maintain that pace to the end, maybe he could be in a chance for winning this race. But if he can't, if the hard tires start dropping off for the end of the race, then the guys who will do one stop should be able to catch him and overtake quite easily.
The first lime green is Scuderia Stratos from Arif Azmi, the teenager. Nakib Aslan is just, well, he's just accelerating into closer and closer inside a second. This time I think we will stay with Nakib. No, we won't, you know. We'll go back up to the front because Kalen Chin's lead is under jeopardy. As I think that was Leona Chin throws up a little bit of dirt. Nasi has got close once again. What a drive from Miko Nasi. He started in P12.
Yeah, and now he's got to watch out the back markers here. Oh, the back marker gets out of the way nicely. Thank you very much. Does not impact this fight for the lead. Nassi's so good out of there. He's always catches cars on the exit of there, despite maintaining a tighter line.
Very, very composed there. Whereas Kalen looks a little bit frenetic, a little nervous look into his mirror to see what's behind him. And that, young Kalen, is your view.
Yeah, whoa.
Whoa, he's coming close. Mikko Nassi making a move.
Oof.
Does he look around the outside? No, he doesn't. Kalen goes a little bit offline. This is the long straight. He is within fighting range. DRS.
Yeah, DRS now. He goes down the outside. Should have the DRS. Should be able to hold the line. But will Kalen try and outbrake him to turn one? They both break super late. And nicely done. Nassi round the outside again.
Mikko Nassi takes the lead. Now he looks back on Kalen Chin. And Kalen, in some ways, that takes the pressure off him in that he can now chase. But how quick can he be? They're both on the soft compounds. About now, Alex, we think of pit stops.
Yes, so I think this will be the lap that they'll be coming in. This lap or the next lap. Nassi's done a really good job of getting up to the front. Didn't really get slowed down. His strategy has gone to plan. But yeah, still got a long way to go. There are a lot of quick, hard tire guys just behind him.
We are on lap 11. Ayman Hakim Tadashi is the man in P3. Naqib Aslan has got himself up into P4. He comes scooting up the hill and takes that lovely left. It's a gorgeous circuit, this. It really is.
It's beautiful as we see the sun starting to set. Clouds getting quite dark. I don't think rain is quite on the horizon, although it looks like it is. And Naqib there, look how focused he is. And he's got just behind him
Mika Hakimi.
Yeah.
Mika Hakimi. Right. So going into lap 12, Mikko Nassi has stayed out. So has Kalen Chin. Mika Hakimi is there. They're coming up to the tail end of lap 12 here. And will they go in? Will they go in?
Well, no, Naqib stays out. He's on the hard tire. So the soft tire is lasting quite well at the moment. People are not pitting just yet, so maybe they're going to keep going. Oh, look, as we see, there's someone coming out of the pit, so he's just coming out of the pit stop. One of the EGG cars.
I think it was Whelan Choi. We'll just have a quick look. Oh, sorry, Whelan.
And I think Mika just must have hit him as they went by. But yes, Whelan just recovering there from the gravel track. Oh, he's had a tough weekend. I talked to him earlier on. He's been working late every day, so he's not been able to put in the practice that he needed for this race today.
As Whelan loses another place once again, Joaquim Garrido goes past him. Alistair Young's having problems as well. Back up to the front. Nassi still leads. Let's see on the soft compound. They're beyond halfway now, Alex Young.
Yeah.
Soft cannot go for a full lap, and Nassi stays out.
Wow, so he's really making those softs last. But I'd be surprised if the softs can go throughout the whole race. I think he would have to pit.
Kalen Chin stayed out. Ayman Hakim goes in. He's the first of the leaders to go into the pits is Ayman Hakim Tadashi. So the soft compound just beyond halfway. He was in P3. He's got to change. He'll go soft, yes?
Yes, he'll definitely go softs. The softs lasted 16 minutes. They'll definitely last 14 minutes, and that's how much time they have left. Few cars there pitting. Oh, I love how they can kind of ghost into each other.
If only.
If only. And a nice quick stop for Ayman Hakim, and he's back out.
Okay, so then, that's Ayman Hakim Tadashi. Focused as Stratos Motorsport. Yevon David goes flying past him. And Colin Lee isn't too far behind, but this is P8. We stayed with him because he was the first of the race leaders to actually take a pit stop. We're fascinated to see when Nassi takes his pit stop. He's got one or two back markers here. Nassi has won the last 3 races of this inaugural season of the E1 Championship. Is he able to make it a wonderful 4? Will he dive in this time? Nassi goes into the pits.
He goes in the pits, and that's perfect timing because he did not get troubled by the back marker, so good decision by Nassi. He'll take his one and only pit stop. Let's see where this puts him out. I think this is going to put him out just behind Naqib Aslan, who is not pitting. And I tell you what, Nassi, I think he's going to win this race.
So here's Naqib Aslan on the hard compound. Will just try to accelerate through. No stopping for Naqib. No time for stops. Will he come out in front of Mikko Nassi? He's just ahead of Mikko Nassi as Nassi will make his exit from the pits just now. So it's 6, 7, 8 seconds. No, 6 seconds will be the difference. 6 plus 2. It's about 8 seconds the difference between Nakib Aslan in P2 and Miko Nasi, who currently is in P4.
Okay, so Miko Nasi needs to be 2 seconds a lap quicker if he wants to take the win, I feel. Kaelin's going to pit now. So Nakib now, despite having a terrible first lap where he fell to the tail of the field, has a chance of winning. But yeah, I don't know. I think Nasi's too close. It all depends on what sort of pace Miko Nasi can do in these next few laps.
Kaelin Chin on the soft compound, has not pitted this time. Nips in, so he'll lose the lead. Kaelin Chin.
Oops, he just gets it, touches the wall there, just gets it slowed down before the line. Quick drink. So yeah, the pressure's on for the young Australian Singaporean.
Now then, Nakib Aslan. He's coming round here. The bottom 2 corners of Rivatsa. So Nakib Aslan will go ahead of Kaelin Chin. And Nakib is still able to hold on that 7-second differential with Miko Nasi. As we look at Nasi, Nasi will have the DRS on Arif Azmi. Poor old Arif has been good. He stayed out, but the hard compound is about to be swallowed up. Or is it? Yes, it is. With contact? Naughty?
There was contact.
Naughty Miko?
I don't know. I think Arif had a last-minute change of direction under braking. So it would be very difficult to see at this point.
So Miko Nasi is up into P3. Kaelin Chin is the man in P2. Arif doesn't look too overly concerned as they go into, I'm going to call it Nasi Corner. There's your race leader. He is 6 seconds clear of Kaelin Chin, Nakib. Just let's break away from Nakib. Let's give a mention to some of those further down.
Wait, is Kaelin Chin in second position? So how did he get in front of Miko Nasi? He must have had a really quick pit stop. But you're right.
I don't think he's pitted. Yeah, he has pitted. Of course
he has pitted.
We saw him.
So he's just in front of Miko Nasi. Wow, so Kaelin Chin with a super fast pit stop. Miko Nasi must have had a slow pit stop because now Kaelin is in front of the Finn.
Okay, so this will be going into lap 16. Kaelin Chin, P2. Soft compound for Kaelin. Soft compound for Miko Nasi. Hard compound 5.5 seconds ahead of them. 10 minutes to go. Ooh, Nakib, how many laps is that? That's probably another 6 laps, isn't it?
Yeah, I can't see Nakib holding on. It's going to be too tough. He's on tires which are really old right now, and he's in the 16s. The boys right behind him are in the 15s, and that's going to be very hard. So they're a second a lap quicker, maybe a second and a half a lap quicker. It's going to be tough, but we never know. Well, it's going to be close, that's for sure.
He only lost out on the last lap. At last, we're seeing Kaelin Chin's real potential. Oh, as he goes a little bit wide there. But Kaelin Chin, we've kept talking about the ability of this young teenager from Australia, the Black Wolf Racing man. But he knows he's under pressure from Miko. Miko, gosh, he must be horrible to race against Miko Nasi because he just doesn't give in.
Yeah, well, I mean, he's been practicing for this a lot. I mean, you've seen Miko. Miko's a great guy because he does all kinds of races. He'll race anything, real life or virtual life. And sometimes he doesn't show so well in some races because I know he doesn't practice for it. He just goes in and drives. But E1 he's been practicing a lot because of the cash prizes availability, the fact that it's such a high prestige championship to race, and that's why we're seeing the best of him right now.
Okay, so is he close enough to make a move? Not early on. He's got one more DRS. Nakib is still leading. Nakib's last lap a 1:16.3, so he's lost 1 second. The lead is under 4 seconds now for Nakib. Oh, it's going to be... it's a gamble. Yeah. But they are the two at the bottom of the hill as Nakib comes swooping down over the brow of the hill. But the guys are they coming into shot? You can see them just top of your screen now. That is how close they are. It's over 4 seconds.
Yeah. It's not going to be enough. Kaelin Chin and Nasi are going to catch Nakib Aslan. What he really needs the 2 cars behind him to start fighting. If they start fighting, maybe he can pull out a gap. And that's, I think, his only chance of winning right now.
Here's the DRS of Miko Nasi. This could be significant. Is close enough. Is he going to go around the outside? Ooh, he's used his DRS, hasn't he? He's wasted that one, or will he get them on the long straight?
He'll get him now. He's got the DRS going. He's catching. And Kalen Chin, he's going to defend the inside. He's going to make it a bit harder. But Kalen's got to break super late if he's going to hold it. But no, again, make it easy. And Mikko Nasi is straight through.
Mikko Nasi goes into P2. So the two at the top of the overall championship are 1 and 2. Nakib second. Kalen is still in a podium position. He's still got a lot to race for, and he's got an 11-second lead over Arif Azmi. Alvin Yak, let's just break away this just for a moment. Alvin Yak, Alex, is in 5th place.
Yeah, he's doing a really good job, isn't he? He's on the hard tires. Of course, he's got Ayman Akeem now bearing down on him. Ayman's on the soft tires. He would have done a good job. But Alvin's doing a great job. He's on path to try and get the best result of the season so far.
He certainly is. Behind them, let's have a look at Ayman Akeem. So he has got the lime green of Alvin Yak in front of him. Nakib and Mikko are at the front still. But Ayman Akeem, has he got enough in it? So he's got 2 hard compound racers ahead of him, and then he's got Kalen Chin. So top 4 is probably the best that Tadashi can really hope for.
Yeah. I think top 4 would probably be, that's right. He's got the pace to catch 2 cars in front of him. They're not too far away. But we should get back to the front because it's getting super close for the fight for the lead.
Let's just stick with Alvin Yak. Loses his position there. He'll try and defend it, but Akeem Tadashi oh, he doesn't. Alvin's very good work, Alvin, but not quite good enough. So Tadashi moves into P4. Back up to the front. You mentioned Nakib Aslam. Look at that. Nasi has closed it down, and there's a full 6 minutes to go. This is... It's almost like a crocodile on the wildebeest, isn't it?
Yes. The wildebeest is trying to thread his way through the waters of the back marker right now, and the crocodile's just hunting him down, knows that he's catching closer and closer. Oh, and the back marker does get in the way.
Oh, there's contact between Nakib, who's forced off.
Wow.
Big smile from Nakib, who's taken a bit of a slingshot from it, but the crocodile still moves in. Those jaws, he's looking voracious. He's looking hungry. He wants a wildebeest.
Yeah, he knows the wildebeest is vulnerable, and here he is. Down the start, finish straight. Look at the DRS. This is going to be too easy.
It's our Serengeti as the crocodile moves in. Oh, is he moving in? Yes, this is the moment, surely. With 5 minutes to go. 25 minutes of race. Good defending. One last thrashing of the antlers. No, wildebeest don't have antlers, do they?
Oh, they do, they do. But yes, just holds off the crocodile for one more lap.
It's like telling stories. He's getting ragged now, Nakib, and you can just see it in his facial expressions. Toza corner is Nasi corner, moves on the outside. Oh, but again, Nakib defends. If this was with 40 seconds to go, you'd think Nakib has got a chance, but he hasn't, because Mikko Nasi will at some stage, Alex, make the move and take the lead.
Yes, you certainly feel that. The thing is, it's kind of like Dubai. You see the Stratos cars running a bit more downforce than the Safehouse cars. Safehouse cars very quick around the corners. He closes up under braking, but on the straights, it struggles to quite match the Stratos Motorsport cars. But he's looking down the inside. He's going to try. Yes, he does. He gets it. Nicely done.
Rivazza with 4 minutes to go. Mikko Nasi has won 3 races in a row. This is to make it 4. And not only Nasi, Kalen Chin is right on the back of Nakib. And Nakib is under threat. Nakib on the hard compound tyres. He took the gamble. It was a good gamble, but it doesn't look like it's going to pay off. Because not only Nasi has taken him, but Kalen Chin is right behind him as well.
Yeah, it's going to be really tough for Nakib now. Can he hold on even for second position? You got to feel, no, he's not. And Kalen Chin goes down the inside. Nice move by the Australian.
And then the next problem for Nakib Aslan is that, 15 seconds. So I'm on a Tadashi. So we just go on to P4. So Tadashi is the man in P4, but 15 seconds?
Yeah,
that's too far. That's too far. Even on the soft compound.
Yeah. So, we got, how many more laps to go? That's 2 more laps to go after this one?
Yes.
And as we watch Ayman Akeem just clear a back marker at the moment, the back marker gets out of the way, so he continues on in P4. Yeah, so I think the first 3 might be set at the moment. I'm not sure if Nakib can come back at this point.
Well, Nakib he's lost a full second since Kalen Chin went past him. Just gives us a chance as Nasi goes over the start-finish line onto lap 22. Let's just go down the order. I can tell you that Chem Lu is out. I can tell you Whelan Choi is out. Daniel Rain Oy is having a tough time. Leona Chin is having a tough time. Ben Seek, who started on pole, is down in P18, Alex. It's been a tough time for Ben Seek.
Yeah, he shouldn't be that far back. He's had a disaster of a race. Obviously got caught in some action there. Had to take his pit stop, and he's all the way back. Shame, he had a really, really good race 1, though.
Let's go into the race for P5. We are on board with Inigo Anton, the top Filipino. He's got Arif Azmi ahead of him, and he's got Alvin Yak. Fascinatingly, all of these cars are on hard compound. And Arif makes a mistake. Alvin was just too big and too strong.
Yeah, nicely done by Alvin Yak. So he holds on to 5th position. Really great defending. It'd be such a great reward if he can stay there. But Inigo Anton, they're both on the hard tyre now. It's really who's got most tyre, who's got any tyre left at this stage.
Alvin Yak looks back onto Inigo Anton. Arif Azmi made a mistake. There is Inigo. This is the battle for P6. We're staying with this because Miko Nasi, Kalen Chin and Nakib Aslam look set for P1. So this is the real, it's not a podium position, but it's worth decent points. Alvin Yak chasing his best result of the season, which would be a terrific performance by the Wolf virtual racing team.
Yeah, now covered, but look at that. Look, oh, Anton's so close now. He's got the DRS. You got to feel that Alvin is vulnerable, but Alvin's got some really good straight line speed. Even with the DRS, he's not closing. I'm going to look at that and I'm going to go, wow, those Wolf VR cars are really light on downforce. Because he's really quick down the straights, but maybe not so quick down around the corners.
Okay, so that's a fascinating battle for P5, which currently belongs to the man on the right of the screen, and he's only got to hold on for this lap. Where are we on this lap? Whoa. Yeah, there's one after this, isn't there?
Well, is there?
Yeah.
Yes, one more after this. 35 seconds to go.
Yeah.
The leaders, we're coming across the line very soon. There we go. One more lap after this. And there's the leader. Championship leader. Wow, has it been a good week, good day for him.
He picked up maximum points in race number 1. He picked up 4 points in qualification. He is going to extend his lead, and he hasn't had a bad weekend so far. Kalen Chin was making some headway, but Kalen is now 2.5 seconds down, and Nakib Aslam is 4 seconds down on Kalen Chin. So Kalen is going to get his first podium, which is great reward for the Aussie, but he'll maybe disappointed he wasn't able to do just a little bit better, Alex.
Yeah, he would have been disappointed because he had done all the hard work. He'd got into the lead, but just wasn't able to quite have the pace of those around him. Oh, well, particularly just Miko Nasi. But still, P2, he's had a tough year, hasn't he, Kalen Chin? He's had the pace, but he's had 1 podium already, but he's had some really poor races as well.
We've still got half the season to go, so yeah. Top position, 5,000 might be out of the way, but you never know. The lower places may well be possible.
Yes.
But let's stick with Miko Nasi now, because Miko Nasi, he's virtually making this his own. Mika Hakimi is making headway into P5, but Miko Nasi, this is now 4 wins in a row. Nasi, left of your screen, blows out the air. Yep, I've done that. Big thumbs up. Kalen Chin, not disappointed with second at all. Thrilled to bits with P2 is Kalen Chin. Nakib Aslan will come through in P3. So Nakib, the hard compound gamble did pay off. Ayman Hakim now comes through in P4. And Mika Hakimi will get another top 6 finish. So Mika Hakimi here into the top 6. That's terrific for him. He hasn't been out the top 6. That's such consistent work. So he'll do well. But it's Miko Nasi, Alex Young. Do we want to see if we can have a quick chat with Miko Nasi back to back? He'll be having his own TV channel soon.
I think we should, shouldn't we? Let's listen in on Team Safehouse and see what they have to say. But let's talk to Miko Nasi. Miko, another win for you. Fantastic. Well done. Good job.
Miko Nasi, good job. Well done. Hey, Alex, thank you. That was intense. Another super. Sweating like mad.
Yeah, you are sweating. It's hard work. You got the force feedback turned up all the way, have you?
Yep. I think it's more mental than anything.
Yeah. Okay. So, how intense was the race then?
That was just going flat out all race long. A few close moments in the first laps, and then Kalen got me back because I think he had full. I put a little bit on the stop to make it to the end. So.
So Kalen didn't put in fuel. You saying?
I'm assuming he started with a tank to the finish.
Yeah.
Unless his crew was just a bit faster.
Yeah, maybe he pays his crew a bit better. But congratulations on the win. I mean, what does this mean for the championship now?
It's good. It's good. I mean, we'll see. I think we've got protests going many different directions, so we'll see later. But yeah, looks good. I think it was fastest lap again. So awesome. Thank you.
Yeah. Well done.
There's confirmation. Nasi again, 27 points, Alex. 25 for the win, plus 2 bonus points for the fastest lap. Kalen Chin gave us a big cheesy grin when he came in P2. Another podium for Nakib, but he'll lose ground on Nasi. Tadashi competitive, Hakimi competitive. Arif Azmi, best result of his season. Alvin Yak by a long way. Best result for him. And Colin Lee as well. It's not only about the winners, it's about those who are there. Zini on his debut picking up a P12. But Inigo Anton Alex just isn't confirming his real quality into points.
Yeah, wow. Tough weekend for him. They can't have perfect weekends all the time. We did expect Inigo to qualify up there, but this is a tough track. I was talking to the Eurasia team, and he said they're saying the drivers are struggling to try and find the right rhythm, because it is up and down and it's narrow. So you have to pick your path, and if you get it just right, you can carry a whole bunch of speed. You get it a bit wrong, you're off. So it's very hard to learn. So for the new boys who haven't driven this track and they can't get into rhythm, they're going to lose lots of time. And that's what I was getting when I talked to Eurasia team about it.
Okay, well, Mikko Nasi didn't have a problem. He's renamed a corner. Tosa Corner is now Nasi Corner. Back-to-back wins for him. He'll increase his lead in the overall championship standings. Best performance of the season from Kalen Chin. We've got analysis, interviews, and the end result of 1 or 2 protests, and they will come from Dan Woodruff.
That's right, Des. We've got all of that coming to everybody after the break. What an amazing way to wrap up the start of our European leg to this championship. I love that camera angle of Kalen Chin. You could just see the pure joy in his face. Even though it was only P2, he loved it. He worked hard for it. We've got highlights and race results coming to you right after this break. And welcome back to the E1 Championship, everybody. We've just wrapped up our first 2 races, our only 2 races of round 4 here at the Imola circuit. If you guys have missed the action, don't forget you can watch all of it again on our live stream on our Facebook page at the E1 Championship, or follow us on Instagram and Twitter at E1 Race. Alex, that race 2 strategy, strategy was everything. And I think we've seen some pretty interesting strategies in the past. I know that you've come in and you've kind of played God with different tire wear, but this was the first time that we saw such a massive difference in the tire strategies.
Well, I know we've seen different strategies before, but it was kind of interesting that the hard tire didn't work this time.
Yes.
Because the hard tire with no pit stop has worked before. I think it was definitely the better thing to do at Sepang. And it should have worked here, because tire wear is not as tough here as it is in Sepang. But it didn't work. Nakib couldn't make it work, and both Mikko Nasi and Kalen Chin were able to overtake because they stopped and they were on the soft tire. And I think what happens is most of the hard drivers had really bad first few laps. And I think having the hard tire makes you slow off the line, maybe pour through the first few corners. And so all the hard tire guys all the way at the back. And so they had to find their way through. So maybe the hard tire no-stop strategy is fastest theoretically, but it wasn't fastest in the race, and I think it's because they lost too much time in the early laps.
I don't actually think it's just in that element, but also I agree the hard strategy probably is the fastest, but Mikko was just able to just make those moves so quickly. I think that strategy really depended on a lot of fighting in the grid. But before we get into even more analysis, let's have a chat with Kalen Chin. We have him on the line. the young Australian. Look, he's still smiling, still beaming. Kalen, can you hear us all right?
Yep, I can hear you.
Kalen, how was that race 2? You were in the lead for a lot of it. Commanding start, really impressive stuff. You walked away with what are your thoughts?
Well, right now I'm just elated. I'm like my first podium, and after turn 1, I was just thinking, okay, if I pull away, I can most likely get the spin, maybe the podium. And then when I saw Miko catching every lap, I was like, okay, he's probably gonna come and overtake me. And then I think he refueled in the pit stop, and so that's how I re-overtook him. And Nakib, he did the hard strategy, and so Miko was still quicker than me. So I was thinking to myself, if I let Miko by, he can go fight with Nakib, and hopefully I can catch up to him and maybe overtake both of them. But Miko, he got by really quickly, and so that shocked me. But I mean, I'm just so happy right now. Yeah, that's it.
That's really good to see. What kind of analysis do you and your team do after races like this? You were fast. Oh, and we've cut from Kalen, but not to worry at all. I'm sure we will still see a lot of him as the championship progresses. Now let's have a chat to Alvin Yak.
Hi guys.
Hey Alvin.
Hey, hi.
How was you're looking very sweaty there? How was that race too? It must have been really intense.
Yeah, it was very intense. The race, we did quite a good pace. I think I finished at P7 also. Had a puncture at the last lap. Had a bit of contact with one of the cars, and I had to limp it back to finish the race.
What's the difference though? This weekend looked a lot more faster really than the previous weekend.
Sorry?
What was the difference between this weekend, the race today, this round, than the previous round? Because you seem to have definitely picked up some pace for this round.
Yeah, I mean, well, definitely we had more practice and trying to not run off to the curbs, as well as, to not have too many track incidents and just try to maintain our pace and just bring it home.
Okay.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Alvin. Best of luck for the next races. And up next, we have Arif Azmi, the Stratos Motorsports driver. Arif on the line.
Hey, guys.
Arif, you look like you had a lot of action to get through and really cutting through the field. Interestingly enough, with the Stratos drivers, it looks like you guys went for a bit of an alternative strategy on the hard. What kind of what was going through your minds when you made that strategy? Because the other half of the grid went for soft.
Yeah, I think we were just trying to make something else work, but I think we did quite well, but I think my pace was just not the best today, but yeah, just going through my mind, just letting cars do, not losing that much time, and yeah, just trying to maintain my pace and not lose too much to the guys behind.
And well done. Keeping the tires alive on the hard tire. How could you push every lap, or did you really have to try and baby the tire, especially the early stages?
Yeah, at the start I kind of conserved so that towards the end I could full push. I thought that worked pretty well, but also because cars coming through, so yeah, I would lose more time if I pushed at the start. And yeah, I think the strategy worked quite well. Gotta thank the team, James and everyone. So yeah.
All right, well, good stuff. A good points haul for yourself and the team. I wish you the best of luck. Good job today.
Thanks.
So up next, we have the highlights from race 2. Let's take a look.
Right, so here we are, the highlights from race 2. Good start off the line by Arif Azmi. Went from P2 to P1, and he had a nice little lead in the early laps. There we have Ayman Hakim in second position, who would eventually hunt him down. And then further back, Kalen Chin then made some good moves to get into the lead. He was on the soft tires, and he was trying to make that soft tire strategy work. Lost a bit of pace towards the end of the first stint before his pit stop, but that allowed Miko Nasi to catch up. And then once Mikko Nasi got through, you really knew. And this is him going around the outside of Kalen Chin again. Again, making that high downforce car work a lot better than everyone else, so he can make these great moves around the outside. And after that, Mikko Nasi was led into the pit stops. Both these cars would have to pit, and here he is coming into the pit stop. Mikko Nasi would have to put on a bit of fuel, which allowed Kalen to come through. But ultimately, at that point, the leaders was Naqib Aslan. Naqib Aslan, who did not pit stop, making the hard tyre work. And then here it is, Mikko Nasi eventually getting past Kalen Chim again after he'd lost that position in the pit stops. And then it was all about the Finn hunting down Naqib and got Naqib on, I think, like 3 laps to go to take into the lead. And then Kalen Chin got him about a lap later. And that pretty much fixed the top 3. Mikko Nasi in first, Kalen Chin second, Naqib Aslan in third.
All right, and let's take a look at the Race 2 final results. Mikko Nasi again with that purple number there next to his name. P1 and fastest lap, the 2 bonus points coming to 27 points. Kalen Chin, the elated Australian Singaporean, 20 points in P2. Love to see him up there. A bit more consistency, and we're going to see more of these performances in the future rounds. Naqib Aslan in third with that alternative tire strategy. Then we have in 4th and 5th the 2 RSG boys of Ayman Hakim and Mika Hakimi, again getting a healthy points haul for their championship positions, followed by Arif Azmi of Scuderia Stratos, Alvin Yak in Wolver, Colin Lee also in Wolver, a strong performance by those by the 2 boys in green, followed by Ayman Hazik of ERacing GP and Joaquin Garrido, the fast Filipino from GT Radio Eurasia Motorsports. Now let's take a look at the round 4 overall results. We've got Mikko Nasi. Alex, what a lead. I mean, that's...
Yeah, that's a nice... Wow, he just scored more points than everyone. He almost had a perfect day today, didn't he? He just didn't get the pole position. If he got pole position, he would have had a perfect day.
Yep, that's right. And we've got Naqib Aslan there in second. I think this is really where we're going to start to see a bit of a gap pulling in the overall championship points. We still got Mika Hakimi there in third, Kalen Chin in fourth. Let's look further down the order. Ayman Hakim, Alvin Yak, Troy Ayman, and Arif Azmi, the Scuderia Stratos duo, followed by Ayman Azik, Inigo Anton, and Joaquin Garrido, the 2 Filipinos together.
Then on the next page, you've got Colin Lee in 12th position. Even Vantaggiato showing more pace, better pace there, and he got some good points. Good points there for Zini as well. Further down, Benjamin Seek and Alex Cha scoring some points. Lu Chen Yang had a difficult day, I felt, today, as did Leona Chin, but she picked up some points as well. Yevon David and Alistair Young had a disaster. Yevon David actually had his game crashed in round 1.
Again, he's got a lot of bugs.
He's got a lot of bugs on his computer, so hopefully he can fix it for the next race.
Yep, and we're going to be having the overall championship standings coming to you very soon, as well as a bit more analysis and insights from Alex and myself. But first, we'll have a very short commercial break. See you soon.
Hi, I'm here with Han from Eurasia Motorsports, a real-life engineer just came back to 24 Hours Le Mans. Han, tell us, what does an engineer do?
So basically in the team there's a data engineer and there's a race engineer. Data engineer basically takes care of the car, makes sure the car runs, makes sure the car is healthy. Race engineer will then determine the performance of the car. So race engineer makes the car win, data engineer makes sure the car survives to the end.
Okay, but in the sim world, you've been doing some race car engineering as well. So here we are at E1 Championship, we've been working with some of the teams, some of the drivers. Is it just like in real life?
The relevance is quite high. Drivers do find that they're really easy to get up to speed by using sim to mimic the real life bumps and the real life G-forces. Majority of the software that are available in sim these days also have the ability to output data. Very, very similar to what real car data would look like actually. Basically, this is how we would be showing to a driver to show where we're gaining time, where he should be braking earlier, later, more, better. His throttle applications here. And then basically also, we can also look at how he enters the corner, how the car behaves during the corner as well. But at the same time, we can also use the data from sim in developing the car setup. So for example, these are the data that can come from the suspension of a car. So in real life and in sim, this is what you'll be looking at. It's really, really similar. In terms of a race car, the height of the race car and relevance to the road is really, really important. To get into that sweet spot takes a lot of time. What we can do on the sim is that we can try a lot of different things really, really quickly, and then we can sort of, from the data, we can actually see whether the height is where we want on a particular corner, on a particular straight, and also what that actual height is to do things that we know would generate positive results.
So you can see that from the driver's point of view, you really need an engineer to get the most out of the car and the most out of himself to get the most out of your driving. So that's why the team aspect is so very important, and that they all have to come together to get the best result.
I really, really love that piece. Yeah. It shows everybody what goes behind the scenes. I will admit, when you speak to people that look at motorsports or e-racing for the first time, and they just go, oh, it's, you know, just turning a steering wheel and pressing a couple of pedals. But that really took me back to my Formula car racing days. You would drive, you would push some pedals and turn the steering wheel, but once the driver comes in, it's all about looking at that data.
And you need to understand how to work the best compromise, because the car's never perfect. Sometimes you got a weak front end and you've got to understand, you got to work on that. Sometimes you got to pull back end and you got to work on traction and stuff, and it's trying to figure out what to work on sometimes. And that's what happened today. When I watched Mikko Nasi and he won, I was really watching how he was driving that car. And he had found something in the car for sure that the others hadn't found, because his car had the best front end today. He had a really good front end, the way he could brake, the way he could get the car straight to the apex. He never missed the apex. And I've been talking to some of the cars earlier in the week, and they were all complaining about traction issues and stuff. So I know that they've been working for the setup to make the back of the car better. Mikko didn't do that. You could see his fuse all working on the front. The car was really good, very pointy, went exactly where he wanted to. And he'd somehow use a really good, nice, sensitive right foot to control the traction out of the corners.
And it just shows you where you're going to get a real blend in e-racing between traditional motorsport elements and e-racing elements. I mean, these drivers, some of these drivers may not have had that traditional motorsport experience, but they're still experiencing things just like the data that allows them to be fast on track in games and in real life. But let's take a look at the highlights from the last 4 rounds of the E1 Championship. Let's start with Sepang, Alex.
Yeah, I mean, the Sepang obviously was all about Ayman Hakim, wasn't it? Sorry, Mikko Nasi won the first race, but Ayman Hakim won the second race, just dominated. So at this point, you knew RSG were very, very strong. Here he is winning the second race. Then we went to Shanghai, and it was the RSG show. You know, RSG had the first 1-2 of the season, where Ayman Hakim won with Mikko Hakim the second. And then went to the second race, and again, Ayman Hakim looked very, very strong. But in this case, Nakib Aslan was able to hold on for the win, just. And then we went to Dubai, and it was the Mikko Nasi show. So it changed again. Mikko Nasi won both races, won race 1, won race 2, despite a really good battle with Nakib Aslan. Well done. And he repeated it again here at Imola, you know. But of course, it was much closer. The fight between Nakib and Mikko Nasi was a lot closer. Nakib should have won race 1. But Mikko Nasi mugged him on the last lap of the race. And then in race 2, you know, Mikko Nasi just, you know, made the one-stop strategy work, whereas those guys on the hard tires, like Nakib Aslan, were not able to have the pace, especially in the beginning part of the race. And that's why we now have Mikko Nasi in the championship lead by quite a bit now.
And talking of that championship lead, at the conclusion of 4 rounds and 8 races, let's take a look at the Drivers' Championship standings. As you said, Alex, Mikko Nasi, we had a really, really close Drivers' Championship at the end of round 3, but now we're coming out of round 4, the halfway point. You can see he's just starting to pull that gap, and consistency is key. That's what this game is all about. We've got Nakib Aslan there in second, and the 2 RSG boys in third and fourth, followed by Troy Ayman, Kalen Chin, Inigo Anton, Yevan David, Joaquin Garrido, and Ayman Hazik rounding out the top 10. Up next, let's take a look at the team championship standings. Again, it's RSG maintaining their position at the front. It's, as I said, it's all about consistency, and those RSG boys have managed to keep it in the top 5 or 6 in most of the races, and it's really, really paying off. But not far behind them, Safehouse really benefiting from Mikko Nasi's points hauls, last 4 race wins, so a lot for him to collect. Followed by Stratos Motorsports and Scuderia Stratos, the pair. Followed by GT Radio Eurasia, ERacing GP, Black Wolf Racing, Wolf Virtual Racing, EGG Network, and I1 Racing. So, Alex, we're seeing a bit of a lead pull away Is it still too early to call for the championship?
Definitely too early. Anything can still happen. We've seen it swing around a bit. Okay, Mikko Nasi's had 2 great rounds, but we've got some very quick drivers behind him, and anything can change at this point.
And of course, they can drop a round as well. How does that work?
So between rounds 1 and 7, you can drop 1 round because we sometimes get disconnects. So you have to drop the round with your lowest points, and that will allow the field to close up a bit as well.
So next week, we have a continuation of our European leg here at the E1 Championship. We've just gone to Italy, but next we go to Belgium, a true driver's track. I think if you ask most drivers around the world, 50% are going to say Spa-Francorchamps.
Yeah.
You've driven there as well?
Yeah, it's a favorite of mine. It's one of the best tracks in the world, easily.
So are we going to see strategy come into play as much, or is it going to be a bit more open?
Strategy is going to come into play. We'll see what the tyre wear. We always decide what the tyre wear and the fuel wear is going to be in the driver briefing right before the race starts. So it's a real equalizer for everyone to see who can react to those changes in the best way.
Well, we're going to have an exciting race next week. I promise you that. Spa, long straights, hard braking, perfect for overtaking. And of course, strategy coming into play at every single corner. My special thanks to Alex and Des for taking you through the action tonight. Stay tuned. Next week, Thursday, 10 p.m., same place, same time. Make sure to follow us on our social media pages as well. But until then, stay safe and good night.